In this castle tutorial, we will share with you a fun and novel way to use our round German Nestler boxes. Using crepe paper and wire, follow our tutorial to craft an adorable little watermelon box. Fill your darling box with a small gift, treats, or clever message. Supplies you will need: a 4-inch Nestler box, 18 gauge floral wire, 24 gauge floral wire, a 2 cm spun cotton ball, Mod Podge and gloss, masking tape, an Exacto knife, scissors, wire cutters, small flat brush, and a moistened washcloth. 160 gram grass green florist crepe, 180 gram deep green florist crepe, yellow doublet, small scraps of pale green and pale yellow crepe paper, and fine crepe in raspberry pink. Additional materials: any sort of light green acrylic paint, light green artist pastels. Part 1. Melon. Step 1. Prepping box interior. Paint the insides and the lip of the box with a thin coat of light green paint. Be careful not to overcoat. Too much moisture will warp the shape of the box and it will not close for you. Step 2. Box seam. Once the box interior paint is dry, you can create your box seam. Cut a strip of your grass green florist that is 8 to 9 inches long, cutting across the grain, and 1 1/4 inches tall. You'll want to glue a stretched band around the box of the seam by applying glue onto the box on either side of the gap. Push a bit of the paper into the box seam. This will help give the box a neater finish when you open it. Trim off the excess. Step 3. Melon vine. To do this, cut a thin strip of green crepe to use as floral tape and 3 5-inch pieces of 24 gauge wire. Bind the wires together, leaving about 1 inch of the wires exposed on one end. Splay out the 1-inch ends into a tripod and attach them to the top of the box with masking tape. Use the tape to smooth out any trace of the wire. Step 4. Box exterior. Next, cut a sheet from grass green florist crepe that is about 9 inches tall and about 10 inches wide. Apply a light but even layer of glue to the box. Wrap your crepe sheet around your box with the grains running vertically around your center box seam and glue the ends of the sheet together. Press the paper onto the box, focusing on one hemisphere at a time. When the paper has a good hold on the box, twist the crepe at the polar ends of the box. Patience is important in this step, waiting a few minutes if necessary for glue to set as you pull on paper to wrap and smooth it. Otherwise, the paper will slide around on you and you will get odd wrinkles or even tearing, and the grain might end up crooked on the box. Once you've twisted the ends, trim the excess and glue the ends down. Continue to trim any excess paper by snipping along with the grain and smoothing out the pleats and wrinkles. Mark the seam of the box with your nail or with something like a bone folder so you will be able to cut the paper later and open the box. Step 5. Rind pattern. Now you will need a swatch of your deep green 180 gram florist crepe that is 4 inches wide and 6.5 inches tall. You may not end up using the entire swatch. Cut up to 8 strips of this crepe that are no more than 1/2 inch wide. A bit more narrow is probably enough. Taper both ends of crepe strips into points. Stretch the crepe out at the midpoint. Your strip will resemble something like a kayak. Then cut extremely thin notches into the strip so that you render a jagged edge. This keeps your watermelon from looking like a green beach ball. Glue the stripe strips to the box so the ends are meeting at the stem and center point on the bottom of the melon. Make sure the stripes are lined up with the grain of the lighter green crepe paper too. Also make sure the jagged points on the strips are spread out and glued down. Allow about 30 minutes to dry before moving on to the next step. Step 6. Box finishing touches. Using a flat brush, apply a thin, even coat of Mod Podge to the surface of the box, working on one half at a time. Be careful not to oversaturate the paper. Do not be alarmed if the paper starts to wrinkle up. As the Mod Podge begins to dry, use the brush or your fingers to firmly smooth the surface of the crepe back down. When the glue is dry, use an Exacto knife to very carefully cut the box open at the seam. Trim and tuck the rough edges or excess paper around at the lip of the box halves. Then put the halves back together. Step 7. Navel. When the Mod Podge is dry, add a tiny navel at the bottom of the melon. Use any pale shade of green crepe paper that you may have on hand. We're using Kiwi 180 gram florist crepe. Cut a strip that is about 1 inch long and 1/4 inch tall. Glue the strip end to end, forming a ring. Then press this ring flat so it's similar to a coin with a hole in the center. Trim to the appropriate size if necessary, and then glue this navel piece to the bottom of your melon. Part 2. Blossoms. You'll be using 24 gauge wire to make the following blossom, leaves, and tendrils. Step 1. Pistil cluster. This is the baby watermelon of the female flower. Poke a 5-inch length of wire into and through the glued hole of a spun cotton ball, and have the wire extend about 1/4 inch out. Taking a small piece of pale yellow crepe, 3/4 inch by 1 inch, cut a fringe of 3 equal widths about 3/4 of the way down. Fold those 3 parts back onto themselves and glue this pistil cluster around the end of the 1/4 inch wire extension. Step 2. Petals. Taking your yellow doublet, use your petal template to cut 5 petals and glue them around your pistil. Step 3. Calyx. Taking postage stamp sized piece of grass green florist crepe, cover the spun cotton ball up to the base of the petals. Working neatly, wrap this piece around at the base of the petals. Take another piece of your green florist crepe that is 1.5 inches long and 1 inch tall, and following the vertical grain of this paper, cut out a series of narrow triangles so that the piece resembles a crown with 5 points. Wrap this calyx around the base of the petals. Set this blossom aside. Step 4. Leaves. Taking your grass green florist crepe, cut 3 squares of 4 inches by 4 inches. Stack all 3 squares and split them into triangles by cutting corner to corner. Now take the triangles and glue them together so that upon opening, you will see a chevron pattern. Once you have your chevron squares complete, use your template to cut the 3 melon leaves. Next, take 3 pieces of 24 gauge wire to use as leaf stems. Wrap a thin strip of green crepe dotted with glue to cover each wire to match the color of your leaves. Then glue a wire to the center of each leaf. Bind the leaves together with one leaf extended and the other two leaves fanning out on either side of the extended leaf. Step 5. Small leaf and tendrils. Take another piece of grass green florist crepe. Use your template to make a small leaf. Attach your small leaf to the stem of wire that has been wrapped with a strip of the same color crepe. Take another piece of wire that has been wrapped in green to match your leaves. Curl this wire for tendrils by coiling them around a handle of a paintbrush or a pen. Bind your tendril with your small leaf. Step 6. Sprig. To make your sprig, use a strip of green crepe dotted with glue to bind your large leaf bundle, your tendril bundle, and blossom together. Bind the tendril bundle below the large leaf bundle, leaving a couple of inches of wire stem on the leaves and 6 to 7 inches of tendril. Then bind the blossom below the tendril bundle. Take your assembled sprig and, using another green strip of crepe dotted with glue, attach it to your melon box by binding your sprig to your melon box vine. If you feel that you need more stability on your vine, you may wrap an additional piece of 18 gauge wire onto your stem. Adding color. Use a light green pan pastel to shade your blossom and parts of the leaves if you wish. Now that you have completed your melon box, you may choose to use raspberry fine crepe to mimic the flesh of your melon. It's a great way to wrap up small presents or treats to hide inside your melon box. For more crafting tips and tutorials using our beautiful selection of imported crepe paper, please visit our website at www.castleintheair.biz.